Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the show that explores how people are using hypnosis to achieve remarkable things. My name is Lisa Machenberg, HMI instructor and host. Today I have two wonderful guests. My first guest is Clarissa Tu. Now she is an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She's also a recipient of the prestigious Director's Award. She's an occupational therapist, and she is the author, let's make sure I get this right, of Self-Compassion in Disordered Eating. And she has with her her very special guest, Odel. Odel came in to see Clarissa to have a different, healthier relationship with money.
Yes.
Hey, please help me welcome my guests. Well, Odel, I want to start with you. Why see a hypnotist and not a CPA if you're having a disordered relationship with money?
Well, it was a time matter because I know that regular therapy takes a lot of time to discover your subconscious mind. And my relationship with money started to change at 25 because I decided not to be broke anymore, right?
A very good choice. I approve.
Yeah. And the first thing that happened after I decided was finding the right information on how to get better, because suffering from 25 years of the same thing, something's off. And I went and read books and went to seminars, and a lot of the things were hidden in the subconscious mind. And I didn't have the tools to access my 5-year-old self.
Of course.
Yeah. And through a friend, they recommended Clarissa, and I said, this is my best chance to access
The subconscious mind, because, you know, the conscious mind's only 12%. It has logic, reason, and willpower, but the 88% is still that 5-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, Clarissa, what do you do? Why do we have such complex relationships with money?
Well, issues with money are very deep, and that's because money isn't just money. What money is a symbol. Money can mean to people power, it can mean freedom, it can mean respect or status or self-worth.
What did money mean to your 5-year-old self, to the subconscious mind?
I think through discovery, I grew up in Cuba. So in Cuba, you have a very low standard of high income. So what I mean by that is that if you have food, you're already wealthy. So if your mom and your dad, they had a car, you were extremely wealthy, even if it was a beat up car. So my dad was mildly successful in the Cuban standards. And I felt so different from the rest of my town because having food was just such an important thing for everybody. And we had it, and my dad had a car. And I felt different, and I started to reject being different because at the end of the day, we just want to be accepted.
When did you come to the United States?
6 years ago.
Ah, so at 25, tell me what your goals were.
At 25, buy my mama a house. I wanted to be sure that my mom and my dad care for nothing. And I'm still not there, but that's my main goal. Just being able to provide for them because they were brave enough to storm me out of Cuba and then storm me out of Venezuela. And here I am because of them.
And the subconscious mind wanted to keep you in lack so you could be like everybody else,
Right.
not draw attention to yourself.
Right. Yeah.
What was it like doing discovery with Clarissa?
It was as if she brought me back to me, because what she has taught me is that my wisdom, even though it can have an outside source, which my source is Will Smith for some reason. It's crazy, but Will Smith is my source.
I think he's all of our sources.
Yeah, right? So in my mind, I see him, but the words he's speaking are not his words. It's my own wisdom but she helped me access that.
It's so interesting that Will Smith became a symbol of the subconscious mind for you, or a symbol of your wise self. How did you get out of Cuba? What did your parents do?
My mom bribed somebody.
With money?
No,
With
food.
Wow.
Yeah,
Your mom bribed someone with food?
Yeah, she was a receptionist, and she was one of the last obstacles in order for us to get the permits to fly to Venezuela. So my mom, being the intelligent woman that she is, she brought the most expensive ham that she could get, and she handed us a gift. And the receptionist switched our case from the bottom to the top.
For a ham.
Yeah.
That is an amazing story because it shows the difference all over the world. We don't even know. And I think I want everybody here to take a very deep breath on the exalted emotion of gratitude that we have enough to eat. And we're having lunch right after this next segment.
Hell yeah.
We're the highest. I think one of the meats is the highest grade of ham. That's true. So you worked with Clarissa and you discovered where it came from. What did you even know about hypnosis?
Nothing. What I see in the misconceptions that you see in TV, that you go into trance and then you sleepwalk and you do whatever they say you do.
Mind control. Was it mind control, Odel?
No, not at all.
What was it like?
It was a meditation on steroids.
That's the best description I've ever heard, ever. And what was it like to be on meditation on steroids? What was that like for you?
It was an experience with myself. It wasn't, she was there, but it was mostly her guiding me through discovering me and accessing my inner child and all the things that were put onto me. And because when you're a kid, you can't protect yourself. Your mom and dad can only go so far, right? And you as an adult, you're not there to say, hey, don't say that to my younger self, because when I'm an adult, I'm gonna regret it. So that's what you do now. That's what we do now.
So now that you're here in the United States, tell me about your life now since seeing Clarissa.
Crazy things have happened. Crazy things that I can't explain. After the first session that we had, Clarissa guided me through me evolving from a baby cub lion to a full-grown lion and all of that process. And that was a Monday. And a Tuesday, I went to the den meditation for a guided meditation. And the person who was directing the meditation, he did all the process. And after the session was over, he said, wow, this was a very intense meditation. I felt a baby cub turning into a lion.
Wow.
I can't make this up. And then my jaw dropped. And I was the only one that was stunned with what happened. And then I went to the guy and said, hey, yesterday I was a baby cub and I was turning into a lion. And he just looked at me and he just, yeah, that's right. As if this is his daily conversation. But for me, it was mind blowing.
Well, we don't really know the mechanism, but we do know that each of us being separate is just an illusion.
Yeah.
Truly, we are connected. And we go into trance states, they're very powerful. It's a state of hyper-creativity, hyper-learning. And there we had our connection. So tell me about your relationship with money now, Odel.
It's changing, it's evolving, it's loving, I'm changing to I'm worthy of receiving. I'm changing to it's okay to have. And I'm a believer that money can only expand who you are, cannot change who you are. And that's how it's happening. So interesting things, gifts and invitations to higher ways of thinking, to higher conversations about money, about investing, things that I would never been able to access to if I was living in Cuba, But here we are.
Truly, success is when, preparation meets opportunity. And I think that's where you are right now. But Clarissa, I wanted to ask you, we certainly talked about money being a symbol. We talked about the subconscious mind's view of money. How do we use hypnosis to change those subconscious beliefs?
So first I use the cataleptic arm stiffening technique as a way to deepen the clients.
What is that?
So I'll show you. So you support the arm you support the client's arm, and you have one hand underneath the elbow, and then you have the client place his beliefs and ideas about money into the arm, and the arm gets stiff. And then you thank these beliefs and feelings for serving their purpose, because at a certain point they were useful to you.
Certainly in Cuba, when you didn't want to stand out, they were very, very useful. Not so much in Los Angeles, California.
No.
And then?
And then you ask the wise part of yourself as to whether or not these beliefs have outlived their usefulness to you. And if the answer is yes, then you release these feelings through the fingertips, and then the arm gets limp and loose.
Were you able to release those old ideas that were no longer serving you?
Yeah.
What do we do next?
So we use spoken imagery to create a new relationship that's comfortable and healthy with abundance and money.
Hang tight. I know about imagery, and I know about visualization, but I don't know about spoken imagery. What's that?
So during spoken imagery, I use a staircase as a deepener. At the bottom of this staircase, the client visualizes a place of total and complete receiving, because most of us spend every day just giving, giving, giving.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir.
Mm-hmm. And in this place, you have permission to just receive. And then I give the suggestion to the client that he will remain in this trance state and in this relaxed place while being able to speak out loud. And then the client will then tell us about the place that he's visualizing. And then I'll ask the client to, from the environment, to receive healthy messages about abundance, prosperity, money, and then the client will then speak those messages out loud.
And then?
And then I have the client create movements within the visualization, and you can walk, run, skip, jump, whatever it is. And this integrates the messages into the mind-body connection. And these become very powerful suggestions.
For some reason, I picture you not skipping, running, I picture you dancing. Am I right or am I right? Were you able to integrate those new messages into the mind-body connection?
Of course, yeah. I'm a firm believer that the mind tells the body what to do, and the body can tell the mind what to feel.
Yeah. I always think that the mind, I don't know, I think that the mind and the body are so interconnected that you can't really make the connection, or that the body is a mind reader.
Have you ever seen anybody cry dancing?
Not even once.
They cry after, but not dancing.
I've cried while watching Dancing with the Stars. Was that so wrong? What's next for you, Odel?
Keep learning, keep getting the right information, the right people that root for you, and being very open, being open to whatever's happening, and not being so judgy about what the process is. And trust. That's the most important thing. Just trust that everything's going to be there for you.
And talking about trust, you need to get with a hypnotherapist that you trust. What would you tell anyone who's thinking about hypnosis to change the relationship with abundance?
I will say that the hypnotherapist is just the GPS, and the destinations is already inside you.
Yes.
They're not going to make anything up. The relationship, it starts with you, it ends with you, and depending on how much work you put in, how much outcome you're going to see.
So you know what, Clarissa? You're just a companion on your client's journey. But everybody is going to want to take that journey with Clarissa Tu. Now, Clarissa, you have a practice right here in the greater Los Angeles area. What happens to our viewers who are watching all over the world?
Well, I do Skype, I do all types of internet, so Google Hangouts, I can do FaceTime as well, and I also do phone sessions so I can help people all over the world.
And you can reach Clarissa Tu at hmigrads.com. Well, it looks like we're out of time for today, but I want to thank my very special guest, Odel, for coming in and sharing that amazing story and that amazing journey from Cuba to here. And welcome, and may you have nothing but abundant success and happiness for you and your family. And I know that you'll get your mama that house. I just know it. And I want to thank Clarissa Tu at HMI Grad. And I want to thank everybody here in the studio audience, those of you watching at home. My name is Lisa Machenberg, but please stay tuned. When we come back, there's a lot more for you on hypnosistv.com. That's 24/7.